Hi everybody, it's Kelly with Soulful Creations, and today we're going to be making the Hattie wallet by Appleek. This is their first pattern, so give it some love, get the pattern. You're going to want this one. It's so cute. It's so fast to sew. There's very little sewing, okay? We're only top stitching this strap. We're going to top stitch the flap. And then we're going to top stitch the wallet. That's all the sewing. Everything else is really simple. You're going to love making this, okay? So let's look at the Hattie. So this one is the one you're going to see in the tutorial. So I've done this one with a vinyl strap. And I have a spring snap here. So we pop that open. We have this little flap, which just offers a little more security to your cards that you're going to have here in your wallet and any bills you might put in there. And then you have your 10 card slots. Okay. And you have room for, you know, your paper money or receipts or whatever you want to put in there. Okay. So this one I did with just Decovil Light. And so it's pretty excuse me, it's pretty firm. I love the feel of it. Okay, the same with this one. This one is done with cotton canvas. Okay, this one is done with just some quilting cotton I had on hand, and I did it all. The strap is done with the same quilting cotton. Again, it has our spring snap and everything, and I'm using this cute little purple card slot. It's still 10 card slots, and I lined it with ripstop on this one. This one is lined with waterproof canvas. Okay, and again, this one is just using Decovil Heavy and Decovil Light, Decovil Heavy on the exterior, Decovil Light on the lining. This one is done with some wax Ankara fabric, and this one has the Decovil Heavy and foam, so it's a little loftier, a little more cushionier, if that's a word. And then again with the snap and the card slots, and I have it lined with waterproof canvas. So you can make it any way you choose. You can use Decovil Heavy, you can use Peltex. Peltex might be a little too, it might not give you a nice round curve on it like the Decovil Heavy does. So you might not want to use that, but I haven't tested it out with Peltex, but Decovil Heavy for sure. Some foam if you like. Also you can use fleece, so if you like it a little more padded, those are some options. But anyway, enough said. Let's get started making the Hattie wallet by Appleek. All right, so we're going to get started on our Hattie. It is such a quick sew. There's really barely any sewing, honestly. So you're going to have your exterior piece. So I'm using this cotton. It's like a canvas. It's a little heavier than just regular quilting cotton, and it's been interfaced with Decovil Heavy. And I just rough cut a piece, and then I just cut around it to leave about 3/8 of an inch all around. This is according to the pattern. And then I'm using waterproof canvas for my lining, and it's been interfaced with Decovil Light. And the pattern pieces for the stabilizer and the Decovil Light, you'll have those pattern pieces. And then, like I said, you just rough cut your lining and your exterior, and then you can measure it out to exactly 3/8, or just kind of rough, just estimate it like I did. Okay, because we're going to fold these edges in, so it doesn't have to be exact. And then this is the flap piece, so I have also cut that out. It's been interfaced with Decovil Light, and I have cut 3/8 of an inch all around that. I've added some double-sided tape along the long edges because I'm not gonna use much glue, if any at all. I'm gonna try to just do this with double-sided tape. These are your the snap tab piece, or the strap pieces. So I have two. I'm going to use vinyl for my strap this time. And I've already folded the raw edges in on one piece, and I just need to do it on the other. Again, I'm just using some double-sided tape. There's some Decovil Light down the center. We left about a 1/4 inch all around. And then you have your accordion insert. So I have these. These are going to be on my Etsy page for sale if anybody wants to purchase. And then again, I'm going to have my kits available as well. Check I'll have the link in the description so you can look for that. And if you purchase the kit, you'll essentially get this pattern for free. Isn't that wonderful? So anyway, back to the Hattie. So we're going to start with the exterior piece here. So I'm going to cut some snips and some notches in so that we can get a smooth, smooth corners as we fold the raw edges in. So right on the corners, we're going to snip, and don't go too far, maybe about, no more than a 1/4 inch in, or a little less than a 1/4 inch. So right on the side here of each corner, I just put those notches so you can see one here and one down here. And then in between there, I'm just going to snip in between. Okay. And I'll do that for all 4 corners. So just cut in a little V out or a little triangle, and then we'll snip in between there. Okay. So here on this side here. And snip. When I tell you that these go together so quickly, you're going to be so amazed. Okay. So, all right. So once you get that done, now you can take some glue if you like. Let me grab, you can use a glue stick. I'm going to show you that. So you can use a glue stick, and you can just put some glue around. Okay. So I like these purple because you can kind of see easily where you're putting it, right? Okay. So I'm going to show you that. And then I like to use my stiletto for this, and I'm going to bring this in here and this side here, and then I'm just going to use my stiletto to just ease in this part here. Okay, and just bring it in, overlapping a little at a time, and making sure it's smooth as I go around that curve. So I'm just using the stiletto, just bringing it around like this. Okay, and then just press it down really well. And you see that glue, the glue stick holds pretty well. So I said I may not use glue, but I wasn't sure how well the canvas would hold with this glue stick. So I am going to go ahead and continue using the glue and just apply it around. And you want to get it on the fabric and a little on the Decovil Heavy as well. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit here. Okay. And then work my way around. So just press it in, use the edge of the Decovil. Now, I am not using any foam on this one. If you want to add the foam, there is a pattern piece for you to cut out some foam. If you like your wallet a little more cushy, then you may want to use foam. So if you like a little more padding in your wallet or the exterior of your wallet, then you're going to want to use some foam. But I'm not going to use, I like it a little more firm and not so cushy. So I'm just going to just use the Decovil Heavy. Okay. And you see how well that stays. And you see how smooth your curves are, right? So we just keep going around and then I need to add a little glue on the last part here. So you don't need a whole lot. And just get it on there. Okay. No smell, no toxic glue. Glue sticks are great. Okay. And so now we're going to just, so like I said, I'm just using this to push down and ease around the corner. And just using my finger to hold it down as I do that. And you just get such a smooth corner like that. Okay. And just smooth down any bumps there. Okay. And now we're to the last corner. I just want to make sure my glue is not dried down too much over there. And then we're going to press the rest down. And before you do, if you make sure you starch your cotton fabric really well. Okay. Give it a good press before you do all of this. Okay. And you'll get a nicer finish. So now, there we go. So that's down really well. Okay. Look at how nice that looks. Look at how nice those corners are. Okay. No. So now we're going to also do that. So cut those same little notches in your lining. And if you have some of the self-adhesive lining from Luxe Hardware and More, it would work perfect for this wallet as well. Perfect. Okay. And that would be much easier too. Okay, so now I'm just putting the snips in there around the corners. Now, the glue stick, I've tried this. The glue stick does not work as well on this waterproof canvas because it has a PVC backing, so it just doesn't like to hold. So I am going to use some double-sided tape. So I'm just going to run double-sided tape around the edge here. And just get it right on the edge. Okay. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to just pull the backing off, and we're going to basically do the same thing we did with the exterior. And if you need to re-snip because of the double-sided tape, you can, but I'm going to see. So using the edge of the Decovil Light, we're just going to fold this down. Okay, get my stiletto, and I'll start bringing this in. Now the waterproof canvas is a little heavier, so you got to really take your time. It wants to stick down before I could work it in really well. So I'll just get this down first, and then work my corner here. Get it as smooth as I can. Okay, and just press that down. This side is trying to just take your time. And when you get it in place, just check, make sure it looks smooth. Okay. Just work it. Okay. And then what I do, because like I said, it doesn't lay as flat as the fabric, I'll just take the scissors, so that part that's sticking up, and I just snip that down. Just snip that down, just like that. So now it's much smoother, okay? So that's what I do there. And just make sure it's looking good. Okay, so we'll continue on. Get all these sides here. And it might be easier if I get the snips back in there. Just press it down. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, so there. That one was a little easier because I re-snipped it, so. Okay. Okay, so there, and like I said, any little parts that stick up, just snip them down, so it's smoother on the back. Okay, so that looks good, and then we'll bring it around. So, and the last one. There we go. All right. Just check. Okay. And then just trim this down so. Okay. So there we go. Alrighty. So now we have our exterior looking good. Our lining. You can also take your little hammer here and you can tap down just to make sure it's nice and smooth. So just tap it down. You do the same thing on the exterior if you need to. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Get this one little corner here that I'm not crazy about. So let me just smooth this one down just a little more. Okay, there. Let me see. Ah, that's better. Okay, so now we have our lining, and then here's our flap. So again, I'm just using double-sided tape. I'm going to fold this over. Again, just right up against that Decovil Light. And then this side. Just like that. And then we're going to fold it in half. Okay? Just fold it in half. And then you can add a couple of clips. We're going to top stitch this in a minute. Okay? So now we have that ready. And then here's our strap. Like I said, I did one. So I have 2 strips of double-sided tape right along the edge of the Decovil Light. I'm going to fold this edge over. It's about 1/4 inch all around. I did measure these a little more accurately because we're going to put these two together, so you want them to be the same size. So I did make sure that there was a 1/4 inch around. I measured that. Okay, so I'm working up, I'm putting the long sides in first. So now we have that. Then I'm going to take a small piece of double-sided tape and I'm going to put it right at the edge of the Decovil Light there. Just put a little piece there. You can use fabric for your strap as well. You don't have to use vinyl. And if you don't want to fold the edges over like this, you can leave raw edges on your vinyl as well. You can edge paint. So you don't have to do this, especially if you're using a vinyl that may be a little thicker. So what I like to do is once I fold this end over, I just snip that the little ends off right there at an angle. So I don't have so much bulk right there. Okay. So just like that. Okay, so I just snipped that off. So I'm just folding it over right at where the Decovil Light is. Right at the edge of the Decovil Light. So fold that over. And when I press that down, then I'm just trimming off those ends like that. Okay. Just make sure. And then I'm going to use I had my pliers here somewhere. What do I do with them? Do you see them? Well, I just had them.
Lord.
Jesse.
You do this all the time.
I know. I literally just had them. Oh, here they are. I put them back where they belong.
Oh, that's why you can.
That's why I couldn't find them. Okay, so now I just like to just use my pliers to kind of press these ends and just kind of, since I'm using vinyl. You don't have to do this for the if you're using fabric. If you're using your cotton, you can just iron it down. But with this vinyl. Okay, so now once I have that and I like the way that's looking, then I can run a strip of double-sided tape down the middle. And then we're going to put these two wrong sides together. Okay, so just make sure you're matching up those corners. Okay, matching up everything. Put a little clip, put a clip on the end. Okay, so then match up the sides. Make sure it's as even as possible. And then once you have it the way you like it, then we can just go ahead and we can top stitch around the whole thing. Okay, so now, so you have your strap. So now we're just going to top stitch around at 1/8 of an inch. So this is just, we don't have much sewing to do with this project. So I'm just going to start here, right in the corner. Okay. And I'm just going to give it one little back stitch. Okay. And pivot, and we're going to sew across. Just make sure everything stays lined up. I'm just going to snip my thread here, get it out the way. Don't that dog go to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we have the strap all top stitched. One thing I want to mention too with this flat piece, you can glue this if you want. We're going to be top stitching, but if you want to keep that together, you can just add some glue there and glue that closed too. We can do that. Okay, so now we're going to, we top stitched our strap. We're going to top stitch our flap. You can just baste this raw edge side. You don't have to worry about that. So we're just going to just baste across and top stitch. So now we've top stitched our flap. Okay, so now that's done. Okay, let's turn this off here so we don't have to hear that noise. Okay, so we have our flap top stitched, our strap top stitched. We don't want this coming loose here. Okay, now we can get ready to mark the placement for our snap and where our strap goes. So you want to grab piece C, okay? And we're going to lay that and center it right onto our exterior. Okay? And get that lined up. And we're going to mark. So there's two placement marks. So this one up here at the top is going to be for the strap, and then the one at the bottom is going to be where you put your snap. Okay, I'm using a spring snap. You can also use a magnetic snap, whichever kind of snap, just so you should have your 2 placement marks there, right? So I'm going to punch a hole in both of those. So this one here, and then this one. Okay, just like that. And then also we need to punch a hole in our strap. So I'm doing about, let me see, I think I did about 3/8 of an inch or so from the top here. I'm not going to punch the hole yet for the snap. I'm just punching a hole for the rivet that goes on the back. Okay, so I'm just punching, so about 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch from the top. So we're going to get that placed on. So it's going to go right on the top. So this is where the strap is going to come over like that. So we're attaching it with the rivet. So let me grab my rivet. Grab my rivet here. Just one rivet. Okay. And we're going to get that on, and we'll get that set. Okay. And once that's set, okay, so I like to make sure it doesn't move too much. I just put a little piece of double-sided tape just right under there. Now, if you don't want to sew through your strap later, then you may not want to do that. But I do want to sew through mine. So I'm just going to add a little piece of double-sided tape right there, just like that. This is not in the pattern. It's just what I do. I just want to make sure it doesn't move, and make sure it's straight where you want it. Okay, so now it's looking like that. Okay, and then at this hole that we punched at the bottom, we can put our male portion of our snap. So you want to stabilize it with a little bit of Peltex or Decovil Heavy. So I'm just cutting out a little piece of Peltex, and I'm going to punch a hole in that. Okay, and then we're going to grab the pieces of our snap, the male portions. So you should have one with a long stem like that, and then one with a short one like that. So those are our 2 pieces. And then this one goes on the back. So I'm going to push it through the Peltex, and then push it through from the back, and then put the shorter piece on top. And then we have this little setting tool. It goes on the bottom underneath, and this one goes right over the little nub there. And then we're just going to get it hammered a couple of whacks, right? And so now we have our male portion of our snap in place. We're not going to put the female portion on just yet. Okay. Alrighty. So now, you see how close we're getting here, right? Yeah. We're getting very, very close. Okay. So now, your accordion, your card slot here, you should have double-sided tape on it wrong sides here of these little flaps. So I've already done that. Okay, we're going to get this placed onto our lining. So take our lining, get a ruler. Whoops, don't drop stuff like me. Ay. Okay, we're going to mark 5/8 from each end. So just put a little mark on each side. Use a marking pen or something that can be erasable. So I'm just using this chalk. So 5/8. So once you have your marks there, now we're going to take our accordion. Now, if you're using a lining that has a directional print, you just want to make sure that you have your card slot going in the right direction. Okay, so here's the bottom of the card slot, this part here, right? So have that facing toward the bottom of your lining. And we're going to remove the double-sided tape. We're going to line it up with the mark we made. Bring it in a little ways from the edge, just a smidgen, or as much as you like. You can pull it in even a little more if you like, but I just do it almost right to the edge, but not going over. Okay, and put a couple of clips there to hold it in place. And then this side, we're going to do the same thing. So right at the mark, line it up, press it down, and put a couple clips. Then we're going to, oh, see, I did it the wrong way. I'm so sorry. I was telling you. I meant that these, so you have the bottom there. These go toward the top, not at the bottom. So sorry. Good thing, see? This tape is repositional. Okay. Alrighty. And my print is not directional, so. Okay, so now we're going to flip this down like this and line it up here. It's a little trickier this way, but you just fold it and get it in place. Line it up at the mark you made and press it down. And then add your clips so you don't pull it loose. And then the final side over here. So just place it right at the mark, press it in place. Okay. And it automatically starts to take shape, right? Okay. So now once you have that, you want to start getting it positioned onto your exterior. So we're going to line up the edges here at the top. And we still need our clips here. I'm just going to get some clips. Okay. So line up the edges, starting here at the corners here. Get that clipped. Get that side clipped. And we're going to get our flap on. I'm not forgetting about our flap, but we want to just make sure we get this position first. Okay, and then down here at the bottom, we want to line up the bottom So make sure the lining is not going over the exterior. We want to keep everything inside here. Get everything lined up. Okay. Then you can adjust it wherever you need to adjust it. Okay. Just check from the back and make sure everything is looking. You can remove the clips here and move them now to attach here. Okay. And then bring it so everything is looking really good, right? So now we know that that's looking good. Remember this raw edge here, and this is the right side of my flap. I'm going to mark about 5/8 of an inch from that raw edge. That's how far down I want to put my flap into my wallet. So this is, you want to have from this side, you want to have the back of the flap facing you, because when you fold it, when it gets folded over, you want to see the right side. Okay. So if your top stitching is not, if it looks no different from front or back, it really won't make a difference. But if you feel like one side looks a little better, the side that you want showing, that's the side that you want to have facing the exterior. Okay, so I'm getting it lined up. I love how the pattern is all matching up on the back. Okay, get that clipped. We're going to get that clipped. Okay, make sure it's evenly spaced on the back. If we need to scoot it over just a little, we can. But it looks pretty good to me. Okay. Alrighty. So now what we're going to do is we can glue this. So I place a clip right here in the center, just like that. And then we can remove the clips on one side. Pull this back. And you can add some glue here. You can use your glue stick, or you can use some, fabric glue, fabric tack, or you can even use double-sided tape. Okay? And we're going to glue it down, but don't go into this area here. Just right here where we have it, we're going to put some glue. And we're going to get this glued together. And then we can clip it back. Get the sides clipped back down. Make sure it's glued. Okay. And over here, I'm going to put just a piece of double-sided tape right on that raw edge of my flap piece. And I'm going to slide that back in. Now that should hold in place. Got my 5/8 inch mark. I don't want to go past that. Get that back in. So now when I unclip this, my flap is in place. And I can open this up. And now I can glue this side. So again, just add your glue. Glue. Get that clip back in place. Press it down really well. Okay. Now we have one last, well, not the last step, but we're only going to sew this one more time here. Okay. So now let me put these clips away. All right. Now we're going to get ready to sew. So we're just going to sew around this exterior, and it's going to be a little tricky because it's a little tight with, you know, we have to sew from the inside on a flatbed. If you have a cylinder arm, you can sew from the outside, but it's very doable. It's very doable. So let me show you. So get this. Okay, and decide where you want to start. I like to start back here and just push your accordion over some. Get your foot in place. Okay, we're doing about 1/8 of an inch. You can leave long tails to tie off later. Okay. I like to have my pliers in hand. And then we're going to get ready to sew. Okay. We're sewing everything right over the accordion, the flaps, and just take your time. And just roll that wallet back as you go. Okay. And once you get around to these curves, just make sure you take your time. Go slow. Hand crank if you need to. Go one stitch at a time. Okay. Okay, we're almost there. Getting around to the last bit. Just take your time. Okay. So now I'm just going to pull this up and I'm going to just stitch right over where I started. Okay, pull that up. I just need to tie these threads off, but let's push this in. The flap, you can just work it. It rolls over, so the flap rolls over like this and right into that empty space here in front of the slots. And then you have your strap tab here. Now we can see where we want to put the rest of our snap. So I'm just I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that looks good right there. So I'm just going to press it. Let me see here. Just make sure it's straight and everything is lined up good. Just give it a good press there. And then I can see that I want to put it about right here. Okay. So I'm just going to grab my hole punch here. Get my now I can put the other part of my snap on. So I have the cap and I have the other piece here too. What'd I do with it? There it is. Jazzy was hiding it. Okay. So now I'm going to just put the cap in here. Press that down really well. Then get the other piece in place. We'll use this, set it on here. And then now we have this tool that goes right down into the hole. And then we'll make like that. Okay. And just make sure it snaps well. That's the sound you want to hear. Good. All right. All right. So all that's left, like I said, is just tying off these threads. So I'm going to do that and then we'll come right back and take a look at our Hattie wallet by Appleek. Alrighty, I tied off the ends, the threads, and now my Hattie's done. I mean, how fast was that, right? So check her out. So you have your card slots. You can put some bills in there, and it's a little more secure with this flap, right? And then you also have this strap that snaps. Awesome, right? Oh my gosh, so cute. So anyway, the pattern link is going to be in the description. Like I said, we're going to have some kits available for these wallets with the card slots and some of the stabilizers that we use to make these wallets. And if you purchase a kit, then essentially the Hattie will be for free. So check that out. I will put the link to my Etsy, also my Etsy shop, also in the description. And get this wallet, make tons. These are going to be so great to sell, to give as gifts. We got the holiday season coming up, so get your Hattie by Appleek. Thank you for watching Soulful Creations. See you next time.